Hello, you beautiful people. Today we are going over a ton of tips and tricks on how to get the Kilo 141 gold in Modern Warfare. In this video, I will be covering how to get headshots, hipfires, long shots, shortly after reloading kills, mounted kills, and additional tips along with my class setup. Now, timestamps for all those will be down in the description. But anyways, let's jump straight into it. For headshots, I find that Modern Warfare is probably one of the easiest Call of Duty games to get headshots in. Most of the time, I find that I complete the headshot challenges while completing other challenges without even focusing on it. The headshot multiplier, or how much damage is dealt when hitting someone's head in Modern Warfare, is insane. Most guns, it's 1 to 2 bullets and it'll kill someone when hitting them in the head, so it makes this increasingly easy. But if you're having trouble getting those headshots, like for some reason the Kilo 141 is the only gun that I've gotten gold that I did not have the headshots done right away, I actually had to focus on that. But if you're having trouble, I would recommend putting on a mini reflex sight or a smaller reflex sight rather than one of the optic reflex sights or the larger optic sights in general. I was able to get roughly 20 headshots in a game, partly because Shoot House is 24/7 right now, and that makes it really easy. Guys, definitely use this playlist while it's still up. You're gonna fly through your guns a lot faster with the amount of kills that you can get. But as long as you focus on getting those headshots, no other kill, put aside that you're gonna die because you will die trying to go for headshots, you will complete this fairly fast. So just focus on those headshots if you're having trouble with it, and you should be fine. Now next is the Hipfire Kills. I always find that this is one of the longer taking challenges for myself, but there is one attachment that makes this whole process 1,000 times easier. No exaggeration. If you go over to your lasers, there's the 5 milliwatt laser. This decreases your hipfire spread so much. You'll be hipfiring people at distances that you should not be able to hipfire people at. Now, the only downfall to this attachment is that there will be a laser sight, that green laser that I'm sure that some of y'all have seen, that the enemies can't see. I find most of the time that it doesn't really affect my gameplay too much. I'm still able to get the kills that I'm able to. Now, I wouldn't camp in the same spot the whole game with this attachment because people, like I said, can see this and it'll make it easier for them to kill you. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, make it even easier for yourself, you can head over to your underbarrels and put on the Merc foregrip. Now, the only downfall to this attachment is going to be your mobility, your aim down sight speed, and your aim walking movement speed, which I guess really shouldn't matter too much if you're running around hip firing people. I usually only run that 5 milliwatt laser, but again, adding the Merc foregrip will help you even more. For our next challenge, we have Longshots, which again is a pretty easy challenge. What I recommend is going into either one of the 10v10 TDMs or DOM modes or going into ground war. If you're a big ground war person, then you can go up on a building. Most building to ground or other building shots will be long shots, or you can stay close to a couple windows. That's up to you how you want to play, but the majority of kills that I have gotten in ground war have been long shots. And if you're not a big ground war fan, then of course you can try those 10v10 modes. Those maps are increasingly bigger than the 6v6, so it'll make it easier to get those long shots. Shortly after reloading kills, I hate so much. I hate it. Now, thankfully, with this last update that went live yesterday or on November 8th, depending on when you're watching this, they actually made this challenge easier to get. Unfortunately, I haven't used any guns since then doing that challenge to figure out how much easier, but they did say that they increased the time, which is good, really good. Now, what I find helps me the best, which I would not try and complete this challenge without, is the perk Fast Hands, or is Sleight of Hands. That's what it's called. This is going to increase your reload speed a lot. You're going to find that it makes it so much easier to complete this challenge with this perk. Now with this perk on, usually with most weapons I would go into a ground war. I think this weapon in particular I went into free-for-all, and as soon as I spawned up I would shoot one shot, and as soon as I saw an enemy or thought that I would see an enemy in a particular area, I would reload. Now if I don't kill the enemy or I don't see that enemy, I would shoot another bullet and repeat the process. Sometimes I would even continue to cancel my reload. So shoot, reload, and sprint to cancel, or I think that there's a couple other ways, and repeat that process until I saw an enemy. Now another attachment that I would recommend is running the monolithic suppressor, because when you are shooting and waiting for an enemy to come, if you're on any map, ground war, free-for-all, anything, people will see and or hear your gunshot. So running the monolithic suppressor will decrease the chances that someone will know where you are when you shoot that initial bullet. I've gone for guns with and without the monolithic suppressor, and I can say that the suppressor does help much more. You will find yourself dying a lot more if you don't run it. Now our last challenge is going to be the mounted challenge. This also is one of those ones that takes a long time for me, just because I am not a person to sit still, so I can't stay mounted for long. My big tip for this, there isn't any particular attachment that you need, but you want to just mount every object that you can. If you're running to a place, you think someone's going to show up, mount to your nearest object and wait. I love getting this done in Cyber Attack. That is one of my favorite game modes, because at the beginning of the round, most of the time, I know where people will show up 99% of the time, and it's pretty easy mounted kills for myself. Again, this will work in any game mode. I found that ground war is also really good for this. If you find the right place and figure out where they're spawning most of the time, you can mount in a window or on an object, and I find that I can pick off 5 to 10 people in one life, which is incredible. So once again, mount every object that you get a chance. Be patient with it. If you don't see an enemy and you're about to get up, give yourself a couple extra seconds. I know my timing personally is terrible in this game, so usually when I stop mounting, someone gets up. So if you give yourself a couple extra seconds for someone to show up, that's going to improve the chances that you're going to get those mounted kills. Now for my additional tips with completing every single one of these challenges is to tie these challenges together. I say this most of my gold videos. Actually, I think I've said it every single video just because it helps so much. Going for multiple challenges at one time will help you complete this much faster. Like there's a challenge for no attachments. You can do the no attachments while doing the mounted kills, which is also a great combination because when mounting there's virtually no recoil, or I like to go for my crouch kills and my hipfire kills at the same time. Figure out what works best for you. Tie as many together as you can without making it super complicated for yourself, and it should help you complete these much faster. Now, as promised, I'm showing you guys my Kilo 141 class setup. I did make a more in-depth video about this. I will leave that down in the description if you want to watch it. But real quick, this is my class setup. I run the Singard Arms 16.6 inch, which is going to help with your damage range and your recoil control. It will affect your aim down sight speed a little bit. Now the optic sight, this is up to you. I find that the mini reflex sight works best for me just because it's smaller and takes up less room. You can see much easier. Then I use the FFS close quarter stock. This is going to help with your aim down sight speed, which you are taking away with that barrel. And then for my under barrel, I run the Commando foregrip. It's going to affect your mobility a little bit, but will help with the recoil, in which this gun needs help with recoil. when at far distances with no attachments, I would definitely recommend this foregrip. Last but not least, I run the Stippled grip tape. This is also going to help with your aim down sight speed and your sprint to fire speed. Now, because the time to kill in this game is so incredibly fast, you're going to want to do just about anything that you can to get your gun up the fastest. Literally every millisecond counts. You might not think it does, but it really does. You can ask any long-term players, pro players, they will say that those milliseconds do count. So once again, any attachments that you can help improve that aim to fire speed, your sprint to fire speed, it will help you a lot. Now, sometimes depending on my mood, I will run the sleight of hands and take off whatever attachment, but that one will be up to you. I find a lot of people like running these extended mags, but personally I find that it affects my mobility around the map too much, and it's really just not worth running it. But anyways, that's going to be all of my tips and tricks regarding getting gold for the Kilo 141. If you have a specific gun that you want me to go over, let me know down in the comments and I will try and get that done for you. I will be doing just about every single weapon, so either way I should be getting to that gun sooner or later. But anyways, as always, thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.